Why is it called a long john?
I was gonna.
Oh, because you have short johns.
Just your johns? Wait, what's a short john?
I guess just underwear.
Your skivvies.
Your skivvies. Your johnnies.
Your johnnies. No one has ever called them that. Hey, this is Amrita and Andrew. We're on a podcast journey to find our way through freelance life. If you're thinking about taking a leap off the beaten path in any part of your life, our inexpert advice is don't think twice. I just wanted you to know, like, you can kind of see there's like this sort of green, light green dust film.
Pistachio dust.
It looks kind of like either like pollen or something. It's all over everything, and I'm trying to clean it up. But the problem is that it's meant to become a paste. So if you add water to it,
it's just going to get worse.
Impossible. So I'm trying to like dust it. I think I just have to like.
I think dust and vacuum
everything.
Vacuum your like 100 square foot apartment.
Oh, I know, which I do know. This is one of the many ways in which you've had a very positive influence on my life.
What, vacuuming?
Yeah, which is such a hobby for you that
such a pleasure
that we have a friend who will be like, hey Andrew, like how's vacuuming going? Sometimes when we hang out.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's something
that I
you're
enjoy.
famous for. Yeah. So I think it's useful to understand that when all the products that were in this quote unquote care package are mostly to like remedy certain like deficiencies, like basically it's like, oh,
character deficiency.
Like your skin is looking really terrible, so I sent this like paste, this Ayurvedic paste that they got, and this is, they recently went to India, my parents, that you apply on your skin at night, and it will really help like how terrible your face has been looking. And then
that's nice.
Yeah, and I think that this powder is meant to, she's like, oh, like for people who have really sad thinning hair, like pregnant pause. This can help. But so I think this is also something that like people without an Indian mom might not really understand the dynamic of being like, here's a care package full of all these things to fix like everything about your hideous appearance, but then also accompanied by a card that says, you're what happens when a mother wishes on a star. And because both of those things can be true. One of the packets unfortunately exploded everywhere. So just
the packet for your face?
I think this was the hair. I think it's like a powder that you then mix with enough water to make it in a paste and then like apply it onto your scalp. But it is like a very ghastly shade of green. And the other thing about all this Ayurvedic stuff is that they do not have requirements about listing
the ingredients.
So like if you go and you read the ingredients, it's like a bunch of stuff, which I like don't know what most of it is, and I I asked for translations on some of them, and then it'll be like at the end of the list will just be like etc. I'm like, see, that's the part that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the etc. Is there like is there like gasoline in here? Is there like we don't know. I
mean, you'll never know, but if it works.
Never know until you try, I guess.
If it works.
So either all my hair is going to fall out and turn green, or I'm going to have like beautiful lustrous hair the next time you see me. So just
and skin. I'm excited about the skin.
I know, me too.
Since you broke your expensive face serum.
Oh my god. Yeah. So. Yes. Well, it's not a good story. That's the story.
That's the story.
The story. I bought like the most expensive face serum on earth, and then
it's such an Amrita thing to do. I gotta say.
Really? That's like such a sad statement.
Well, it's like you bought this very expensive thing first, and then you coveted it so that like you only used a tiny amount.
Drop.
And well, this is what really Amrita about it. You're like, okay, I bought this thing and it's supposed to help these like spots on my face, and it's really expensive, but I'm just gonna use a little bit, and I need to use it consistently. Cut to the next time I've seen you, you're like, I mean, I've used it like, I don't know, like 4 out of 7 days. And I'm like, yeah, but if you don't use it consistently, you're not going to see the results. And if you don't use enough, you're not going to see the results.
Those are things that are both true and so true about me. I do.
And then
I do that.
You're like, and then you drop the thing.
Yeah. I dropped it in the sink with my slippery, soapy hands, and it was in a tiny glass bottle because this is how fancy this serum is. It doesn't come... It comes in like a delicate, tiny tiny glass bottle, and it shattered, and there were shards of glass in there, and I just scooped up everything that was in the sink. I saved what I could salvage, and then and like into a different bottle, and then everything else that was in the sink I just slathered all over my face. And then I saw you that day, and I was like all like
you looked beautiful,
shiny, like greasy with serum. I've never been more moisturized than I was.
I noticed a difference.
Yeah. Actually, you did. You brought it up without prompting.
Yeah.
So maybe it turns out that I just need to like
slather
my face.
$75 bottle.
$75 a bottle serum. Oh God. Well, anyway, I think I'm gonna buy it again, and I'm gonna give it the college try this time. I really have. I gotta invest.
Yeah.
Felt like, oh, I'm really beating my seasonal depression this year. Like I'm not like mired in sadness.
Yeah.
But then I realized that actually it's manifesting as me just not being able to get out of bed before 11 in the morning. And I just wake up, and then I'm like, I'm fine, and then I just get back under the covers and just stay there for hours. And my brain is so good at being like stupid that I was fooled for a while into thinking that, oh, seasonal depression missed me this year. And so I thought, you know what, maybe I've kicked it. And then I suddenly like realized, oh, for the past like 2 weeks I've like been in bed as long as I can be, the maximum amount. So if I know I can stay in bed until noon, or like even if I know I can't, I just will.
Work from your bed.
Yeah, just kind of like laptop on my belly, or like, taking a call like with my face all smushed on the pillow. So that, folks, is also depression.
Well, what's the solution?
It's just manifesting like physically more than. What's the solution? Well, I don't know what it is. Maybe we need to, like I mentioned to you, maybe also just being more scheduled about our
work days,
because we're doing so much more self-directed work this month.
But at the same time, I feel like we don't really hit our stride until like
later
in the day, and then we can go
there
later.
There was like a dumb, how like New York Times has those like really smug, dumb like lifestyle columns about like how to like quote unquote live a better life. So they had this article about how people with different circadian rhythms can get along in the office, and I actually genuinely like want to know the answer to this question. Like I don't know if there is an answer to this question, I guess. And I mean, I think the actual answer is that we, the non-morning people, are oppressed by the structure of the work
by
day.
The Industrial Revolution.
Because like the day is not structured to take best advantage of our our strengths. But yeah, they didn't give as much of like a really concrete answer as I really wanted. I wanted them to actually try to solve this problem for me, but really it was just like, oh, like be mindful like of when you schedule things, and
of course
how you
I'm not going to
approach
offer like real solutions.
I mean, this is
one thing, like I why do we all have to get into the office at the same time? If you and I don't get going until noon, why are we there before noon?
Right.
Or
you start a business with your friend who has the same circadian issues as you, and then you and me have been doing. We've been doing a lot of self-directed work lately, and keeping a very sort of us type of schedule, which actually has been working very well, because I feel like we're, if we meet up at 9 a.m, we're going to spend a bunch of time just kind of like. With the engines revving, and whereas if we meet up at noon or we meet up at 1, like we're ready to go. I mean, more or less, and can just like actually get into it, and then and then we work basically until like happy hour. No, it's just way more efficient, is what it is. And even if it like maybe ultimately ends up being like slightly fewer hours, they're just much better spent hours, I think.
Well, we also come with thoughts about what we're going to work on for the day, or we've already taken the alone time to think about what our
what's going to be the what's going to be the best use of our together
about
time.
This, and we should do that,
right?
This and that.
Right. Which also helps to have a cohort of 2.
Yes.
We have to. There's so little consensus building time for us. We waste very little time on death by committee, which is like the biggest waste of time in most of our other workplaces.
And we don't always agree on everything either. So it's not like a.
Well, and that has been, as I said, something that's been really fun about a lot of our work lately. I mean, fun, but like illuminating is how we function when we don't agree on an approach to something, and how we can, like, how we just sort of like have to then like reverse out of the spot and then try to parallel park again in a different way.
That's really what it feels like.
Over and over again.
Over and over.
Yeah. And being on a deadline with creative work makes it so much more that you just kind of have to do that instead of being like, oh well, we'll just put this aside.
Let's think about it and
we'll
return to it another day.
To it, which is what we've done quite a lot in the past, and now it's kind of like, no, actually, you'll think about it now.
I'm like, I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. But here we are. I feel a lot of jealousy about your life right now, although I know that that's dumb and I shouldn't, but I just feel like your time is your own right now. Okay,
yes, it is. It is, but that also means what it means.
It means that you're left alone with your thoughts quite a lot.
I really am.
Mm-hmm. Well, you now are experiencing solo living for, if not the first time, then the first time since I've known you.
Yeah, I mean, I lived solo when I was in high school for a minute.
Oh, yes, that's right, but under very
different circumstances, very depressing circumstances,
yes,
really.
Yes.
But yeah, so this is the very first time. So
yeah.
my full adult life.
We're both getting to experience that together,
first time,
actually.
And
I mean, alone together, together alone.
It's a gift. I mean, my apartment is also nice and large. Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of different spaces.
I have a lot of different spaces,
and you can sit at a dining room.
I can play my piano at any time of the day or night. Mm-hmm. I can sing and play at any time of the day or night. So that.
Oh, that's nice.
Is really nice.
Yeah. How's your voice been feeling?
I mean, it's there, and I enjoy playing every day.
Yeah, see, you got so uncomfortable with that question. You just started seizing up. Okay, anyway, but you're alone with your thoughts quite a bit. We don't have other people's projects to consume our working time, so we're just kind of left.
No drama, no other people's like.
These are good things.
They're great things. Like I, don't have to.
Yeah. So anyway, so I feel like I'm envious in the time that I do spend doing other work, but I know that it's actually not like so idyllic sometimes to be, 100%
untethered,
and
like,
especially for a double Capricorn like you, who is.
It's been good. It's been good in a few ways.
Productivity worries.
One of them is realizing it doesn't matter how I structure my day. I will always feel like I didn't do something I should have done. I will always feel like I woke up too late or or didn't get enough sleep and should have slept longer, or like or should have eaten right when I got up and not an hour after I got up, or 2 hours after I got up, and I should have done this, and I should have had more water, and I should have gone to the gym in the morning instead of it. Like, just endless ways
to self-edit your day.
And I should have taken the day to do this instead of that. Yeah, so it's like endless ways. And so having so much open unstructured time has given me the chance to like think about that and
and
kind
of examine that
like,
tendency.
you know what, like why, like I'm just after this it's like I have a need to feel guilty about something.
See, that's what it really is, because the answer isn't that there would be like a perfect type of day that you're chasing. Like, you're like, what would make you feel not that way? Is it if you were like, you set your clock for the exact right time and you fell asleep at the right time, you woke up at the right time, you had the right amount of water? Like, there's no way to actually like game the system on this one.
Mm-mm.
So it's really not that you're chasing the perfect day. It's just that you're chasing a reason to make yourself feel guilty.
And there's nobody.
Because there's no external
structure.
Because there's no external source of to like give you the framework to feel guilty. So you have to make it yourself.
And there's no framework to be, if I worked a job and I accidentally got, I got in late or I didn't get enough sleep or whatever, but then I got like my job done and I did it well. And then it's like, at least there's the external validation of like, there was a thing that needed to get done,
I guess
and you
it's a
did
double-edged
it, and
thing.
you did it well.
You don't get the external source of like censure, but you also don't get the external sense of validation.
Yeah. So it's all just
in your head.
But I feel pretty good. I'm able to like see what's happening more and more. And you and I have talked about working on the professional time we have together, and like figuring out how to manage our schedule in a way that's best for us.
Yeah.
We haven't quite figured that out yet.
A work in progress.
And it's a work in progress and something I don't want to feel guilty about.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No guilt. Here we are, doing the thing.
My cousin's daughter, Savannah, she plays saxophone, and
does she?
auditioning for the jazz band. She's really nervous. So
sorry, almonds were terrible.
So she's auditioning for the jazz band, and so my cousin Nicole texted me, asked me like, do you have any like tips for preparing for the audition?
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Just, one performer to another.
So I was thinking about it, like, how do you prepare for a jazz audition where there's, like, improv? Like, you're going to improvise over something. So this is what I decided. Was my advice.
Okay.
I said, because Nicole said...
How old is she? Middle school?
She is in middle school,
okay.
8th grade. Okay. Nicole said, there's a backing track. She's listening to, like, a backing track on YouTube, just sort of like a thing. And I said, great. So to practice improv, I told her to come up with like a 3 to 5 note, like little pattern, and then to play that over the backing track until she felt comfortable with it. Don't change it at all. Just like play it. And then when she felt comfortable with it, she needed to like start playing around with it. So change one note, or change the length of the note, or change the rhythm just a little bit. So play the same notes, but just a different rhythm, and then go back and play, and then follow it by just playing the original 5 note, and then do it again, and then and then start to just play off of that same 3 to 5 note thing, and then if you ever feel like you're lost, just go back to the thing
that you prepared, right?
Yeah. So
that's actually really good advice, and is very similar to the advice that, so I haven't really been as in touch with my like vocal training, but in Indian classical music, like there's a lot of vocal improvisation, and that sounds a lot actually like some of that it's okay to sort of prepare a few figures that you like, and and then just kind of like, and you can take a really long time and just kind of like riff on those, and only maybe only use 2 notes, or only use 3, and then like as you like feel like you've exhausted all the combinations of those 3 with different lengths of the note and different like rhythms and different whatever, and like pausing
and punctuation,
whatever, and then you can add one more, and then you can whatever. So I think you gave good advice.
Yeah, well, her audition's today, so I'll be curious to know how she did.
Oh, well, I'm sure she did great, but that's really cute.
Yeah.
I would be terrified to do an audition where there was an improvised element, because it's so about like being present and not being nervous and stuff. And it's like sort of the exact opposite setting to be in.
So I would think that I would feel the same way, but I feel the opposite. I feel like an audition that would have improvisation, I would feel more confident.
Because there's like no wrong way to do it, basically?
Because all those people who spent all those hours just like chipping away at their pieces perfectly have no advantage over me.
Interesting. Well, you also like have like a sort of surprising, like, maybe not surprising, but like your performance anxiety. Well, you don't really have performance anxiety. You have it in a very different format.
Oh, tell me.
What? You do. You tend to get much more like, you know, I don't even know if it's anxious. You're like, you get very terse and very like a little snappy, like in the preamble.
Yes.
And then once you're in it, you're on, the train is rolling and it doesn't matter. And like, you're like totally there in the moment and whatever. Like mine is much more like a traditional performance anxiety where I like get up there and then everything that I thought I knew, like maybe
really you feel like in the moment?
Sometimes, yeah, it just flies out of my mind, or I'm like, where am I? Or I'm like totally not in my body right now or whatever. Well, I've been on a whole journey of self-discovery this 2020 so far. And a lot of it is like realizing how like intertwined some of my various different goals are, including like mindfulness and being present and whatever. And so yeah, I think in performance sometimes I'm just like, you know, I will sort of try to revert back to whatever I practiced and try to like and chipped away at and prepared and whatever, rather than like actually just like being in the room in that moment. And like,
well, for a long time, like I think
a detriment
yes,
as a performer.
Well, for a long time, I mean in college and shit, I tried to do that, just emulate other people, which seemed like very comfortable. Like their process was different than mine, and it just didn't seem like they had nerves or they were, or however they prepared. But I do the thing where like I don't want to talk to people. Like
you withdraw.
I withdraw completely, and it's like, because I'm just like amping myself up. I'm like gathering all my energy. Yeah. Because like I know where I want to expend my energy, and it's not in the preamble. Right. So I do everything I can to like disengage from like things, and so I get really terse when I have to like deal with like make decisions or like deal with something. Or,
Well, see, I know that about you, and it like so I'm it doesn't concern me, and I'm not like. Like I know exactly what's going on when you go to that place, but yeah, you totally switch into like a different.
I'm like reserving all of my, everything
or energy. Social energy or whatever. I think it is kind of like a social energy thing too, because then you're never more like socially engaged than when you are like communicating on stage or something. So it's like you're like, well, I can't actually like talk to you in the meantime.
It's true.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I'm really tired.
Yeah, that all makes sense. Yeah. We need to get back to our. What was that?
That was my water bottle.
Oh, okay. That makes me miss doing our live performances.
We'll get back there.
Which are gonna return.
Yes.
They're definitely returning.
We're in the works.
Very excited. Drinking out of one of my niece mugs right now.
Kids are funny.
They are funny, aren't they? My nieces have this thing about making mugs for me.
I know.
That's like
every day I'm over here, I drink out of a different
mug. Yeah, that has their faces on it. It's nice.
Yeah. I mean, you have a small apartment though.
I have a small apartment with a
soon it's just gonna
improbably large coffee cup collection. I'm overrun.
And I mean, these cups are. There's some very cute kids.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
So you have a brand new nephew.
Brand new nephew, fresh into the world, 2 weeks old, Nicholas
Sparks.
Yeah, Nicholas Sparks. I'm going to see him in a couple weeks.
Huge fan of his work.
It's very impressive that he
prolific.
Nicholas something. I can't remember the middle name. Stevens. Nick Stevens. Word is he might be a redhead or close to that.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah, which has my brother uneasy.
Wait, what? Why?
He just texted me. He's like, I think he has red hair. I don't know how I feel about that.
I have questions about that. But okay, I told you a little bit. I was yesterday at a fundraising event, and was thinking about so I've had a lot of complaints about balancing my professional lives and my creative lives lately. And
a lot of you've complained
I've
about
complained
it.
a lot.
People haven't come to you and complained about you.
I'm sure they have.
I mean, they complain to me about you, but they don't complain to you about you.
That's right. I mean, I'm sure that I'm docking up lots of.
Oh my God.
Lots of.
Can she not get out of bed and do something?
Oh my God, it's such a problem.
I say,
it's such a problem.
Take it up with her.
Well, I'm sure they will in good time. But in the meantime, I've had a lot of complaints about my work life. The thing that I often fail to appreciate, and often need to be reminded, is that how timely some of the things are that I'm doing professionally that I think of as being professional obligations that are separate from my creative life.
Right.
And I was just thinking about what makes somebody good at being a fundraiser. So we were at a donor event, and I was trying to view this as an opportunity. We may soon be in a position to be fundraising for various different creative projects that we're doing. We have a short film that we're writing, and we'll hope to self-produce, and we'll need to self-finance, presumably. And I was like, well, maybe this is actually a really good gift that I can try to think about as an opportunity to figure out how to get better at this.
But there are some people who are
gifted. I mean,
very
truly,
gifted.
Truly. And and for people who are gifted that way, they don't understand what the block is for me. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to really try to make this, I'm just going to try to observe what makes people good at it, what makes me not feel like I'm not good at it.
So what have you gleaned?
What I gleaned is that I will have spurts of energy, and then make a short turn around the room and be very charming and fire off a few witty remarks, and then have to retreat to the bathroom with my wine glass and just hide so that I have 5 full minutes where no one is talking to me.
You're your battery. You're like a game character,
Except
a video game
it depletes
character.
really fast, and then recharge, and then I go out and you, and then I have to go eat some cheese and hide under a table somewhere. So progress is shaky, but it's I don't know.
Well, okay.
Do you have any thoughts about this?
I do have thoughts about. Well, not only do I have thoughts about this, but it kind of dovetails in something I wanted to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm.
In general. And we can cut this from the podcast if we want to. But
you always preface everything you say, by the way, with that, and then I always just leave it in. So anyway, okay, carry on.
How do I say this? So this goes without saying. Everyone is at their most dynamic when they are being themselves.
Yes.
So that being understood. Sometimes in meeting situations, if we're meeting as a team together, I sense I'm feeling
that I'm about to be read for film.
A conservatism that isn't your true personality. Mm-hmm. And it's fine because you're smart and articulate, so that works for you. So in other words, you're not just a bump on a log, but you are also not your most effervescent self.
Okay.
And
I don't disagree with anything you've said so far, so I'm not.
And I'm wondering why if that's
and how?
purposeful, if that's purposeful,
Uh-huh.
and if it's not a tactic so much as just you're gauging the situation before you fully come out. So it's sort of a little bit of a safety mechanism. Or what? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's very fair. I think that is very fair. Not even criticism, just observation. I mean, we saw it in a lot of ways. We actually had an entire last year had a very long conversation about a photo shoot that we did last year, and then we recently had another photo shoot. And basically, I have the same feelings about it this time, which is that in the same way that, well, first of all, my face is truly grotesque in and I just don't know how to not look like that. This is just a sidebar to this. I will return to your very incisive question, but I think it's sort of a little bit related. It's like not really bringing my person. Like you were like, this doesn't look like you, and it's because I didn't really feel it. Like I wasn't really like.
And it doesn't
like
look like you.
Which is very kind, because I really hope that that's not.
Well, kind or not, it's just a fact.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, I don't know what was going on. I mean, I really look like Anyway, all that aside, it's about sort of not bringing my full dynamic range of personality to a situation, whether it is being seen by a camera or being seen by a person or whatever. I don't know fully the answer to your question, and I will say that I think this goes a little bit along with my my journey of 2020 self-discovery, that I'm doing some hard self-examination. And I think sometimes in a business setting, like a business meeting setting, I will tend to go a bit middle of the road. And again, it's not like I'm
well, I think that's appropriate.
Fully withdrawn. And yes and no, because I think like even in a business setting, especially like in the creative industry and in the TV industry that we're working really hard to make inroads into, people want to know who you are. So they want to know that you're like a smart, like, you have some tact and adaptability and like whatever, and like so the middle of the road thing sort of helps with that. But fundamentally people want to make a deal with someone that they like, whether it's in TV, whether it's in anything, so if I'm fettered in like revealing enough interesting things about myself or like, it doesn't have to be just about me, but it's just in general, like if that's a limitation, then I think that can be a problem. So the first of all, I tend to go a little bit in the middle of the road because I do like I in order to like not cause offense or like be likable or something like that, which I think sometimes has the opposite effect of being like a little bit bland, but the other thing is I do have
I'd never say bland.
I do have a little bit of a like worry about being a lady and and not particularly like in a donor setting where it's like a lot of like maybe like older white people, about like presentability stuff.
Absolutely.
So I get a little bit worried about, because like I have a very, very foul mouth normally, and so then sometimes so I don't really like, I obviously censor myself because I have some decorum. But like and just like sort of the way that I might normally like fire back about something, I wouldn't do that and especially because also like I my presentation, sometimes I don't really have as like the type of wardrobe to look super like at totally camouflage in an Upper West Side apartment or Upper East Side apartment. So I feel like I kind of have to do a little extra, like, I mean, I got like, I had, not for nothing, like a few people like order drinks from me last night. So like, I mean, that'll happen and that's fine. But like
order drinks from you?
Yeah.
Oh, like you walked up and they're like, "Can I get a Chardonnay?" Because
I was like, I was standing by the bar, but it was like there was another like woman of color who was like actually like the maid who works at the apartment, and I was like standing next to her, and so I kind of sometimes feel like I have to like be a little bit, more conservative to.
Well, I think that's true.
Yeah.
I should have prefaced this by saying I'm talking about what you're talking about, a role that you play when you're representing an organization or a job. which is different than you're representing when we're representing ourselves.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where, like, because
I
there
think it's just
haven't
about
been
learning.
a lot of times, like, it's only now that we really go into
Yes.
meetings and things, and it's like
And we're
they
selling
want to know
ourselves.
who we are,
Right,
and
right.
it's not like,
Well, but I guess my point is more that I'm trying to learn how to flip that switch of going between like what role am I playing here? Oh, actually, the role I'm playing is the role of myself, and like, please like me,
Yeah.
please like me,
or don't,
or don't.
but like this is
what it is.
This is what the product
Yeah,
is.
yeah. But I think also part of that is this exactly what we've just been talking about this whole time about performance anxiety and like being present and like responding to like rather than, because I often like prepare a lot for conversations to sort of like pump myself up for like, you know, having to interact with other humans or whatever, and then but rather than like, it's a sort of the same principle as being ready to improv in an audition or a performance versus.
Oh, wow, it is kind of
isn't it? Because it's like, because you actually want to respond to what the person is giving you, but then sometimes I out of nerves will just sort of revert to like the thing that I prepared to talk about, even if it's like not quite like in step with what's actually happening.
I mean, you're very articulate and quick, so you can sort of bridge that.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I mean,
but
none of this
I hear
to say
what you're
I
saying.
don't want to make it sound like I'm I'm a total like social moron or anything. Like, you know, I have my moments, but we all do. But yeah, no, I do very much wish I could like be myself, quote unquote, with more ease in these types of meetings, especially like in the creative sphere where we are trying to convince people that like
you can and you will, but like I've just noticed like
it's something I'm working on, and it's just like related to so many different things. It's about being present, being mindful, whatever, and also just about like standing up straight and not letting, you know,
or like laughing when something's funny, like like your
Right,
laugh
right.
is very charming, and it's weird when something funny happens and you don't laugh.
Oh
which
my god, what are
only
you thinking
happens
of a
in like
particular...
it only happens in like business meetings with like where I just feel like a quiet concentration come over you.
Yes.
And so like he'll be like next to me on my right or left, and I'll just feel like this person like
Oh no.
like we're at in a different sort of meeting, like we're in a production meeting or something, instead of a meeting
I want to give you the energy that you can bounce off of in that setting. So
right, because there was sometimes like you'll let me part of our rapport is talking over each other sometimes, like and
frequent listeners will have observed phenomenon.
finishing a thought that like we know the other person's gonna like moving towards, but maybe they're like lost in like a bunch of words, so we're like, okay, you're trying to say this, and then like we and that's just like part of our dynamic. And sometimes in professional meetings you're like letting me finish a whole thought, and I'm like, girl, you need to jump in here. Like, not that I can't do it,
yeah,
but like come on,
okay.
Can you edit me in real time? Just like help a girl out, jump in here and
which I can. I can, and I do in most most settings. So
which is like, I must say, like being part of a duo partnership, part of me is like I couldn't imagine doing something like this by myself.
I know.
I wouldn't.
You solo creatives out there, God bless.
Actually, I can imagine doing it, but I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring up this idea to you.
So if you had to, I thank you and I appreciate that, and I take that in the good, like whatever, like the good intention that it is offered. But I ask you, what do you feel like are some tips for me, if you can think of any? What should I be doing? What can I be doing?
Oh, I guess that's a little hard. Other than just like not
get out of my head, get out of my ass.
Yeah, or concentrate more on our dynamic, what we are trying to say together, than what the
person wants to hear.
The person's energy is.
Do you know what
I mean?
Yeah.
Like another advantage of being two against whatever, even if it's a room full of people, more than one person, like it goes back to an original point of like they might be stone faced, they might be having they might be in suits, they might be doing whatever. But we have to remember that there's no sort of deal that we want to make with people where we have to turn around and be like, oh, I know you liked us in that meeting, but that wasn't who we were at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So just kind of not so much pretending they're not there, but in a sense, just like doing our
or
things.
Not
and that means when something's funny,
back.
you laugh.
Yeah.
When like I say something that you feel needs clarification, you just jump on top of me and do it, or vice versa. Or like even sometimes like if I say something, you say something, and I'm like, and I say, I think more. We're trying to really say this, or we don't agree. It's fine to disagree in front of people. Right. Like, you know, I think maybe we overthink it.
I think that overthinking is like part of our brand. We've made like a hobby and an art form out of navel gazing.
Mm-hmm. When did you get moved?
And it is helpful. It's helpful, but once you're done with the navel gazing, your navel has been sufficiently gazed at, you then have to go out into the world and do a thing. So that's where we're at.
So I just encourage you to think about it and have no fear about people seeing who you really are.
Okay.
Or like offending people.
That was just my like 2020 goals in a nutshell. And it's really hard.
And like, in fact, push it. I mean, we should both push it. It's like, that's who we are. Like, I have moments where like I sense that someone's like not disapproving, but not disapproving. Like I don't know where they are.
Right.
And I'm truly fine with that. I haven't always been, but like lately it's like, oh yeah, that person might not like me. And
yeah, I think you have actually gone on a journey.
Or
with
like
this.
not really like what I just said.
Yeah. I like that. That's our goal. That's our storyline for this year.
Yeah. So I ordered essentials that added up to like $100, let's say. And I don't have Amazon Prime. And so they come when they come because I choose free shipping and I'm not in a hurry. So I get like a package here.
I mean, no, we should all quit Amazon, but also if you want to use my Amazon Prime in the
I
meantime.
know, my brother has one too. I just don't.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Because I don't need something like next day.
It's like you just have to be, you know, you can use mine, as I've said, you can use mine, you just can't judge my search history in the way that a friend of ours who will remain nameless, she was trying to show me something on her Amazon, and she was like, oh my God, like, just don't comment on the suggested things for me. And I like scrolled down, and it was like a bunch of like technicolored wigs, and then like a butt plug that had a jewel, like a gem on the end, like a big, like Sailor Moon style, like scepter. And I was like, well, now that you said that, of course I went and looked at it. And she's like, seriously, well, like, but we're not talking about this. So, so Amazon history can really say a lot about a person, but I would be willing to expose that to you. My search history.
Well,
if you need it.
I received my package yesterday and I was like, ooh, what did I get?
Yeah,
what did I forget?
It was like Windex or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like Windex, lotion, a new laundry bag for the laundromat.
Mm-hmm. Well, you need to maybe sneak in like a little nice thing when you order.
So I was disappointed in something that I ordered myself. But I'm like, man, I spent $100 and all I got was lotion and a laundry bag. You know?
Well, that's how I feel every time I go to the grocery store and I'm like, I spent $75.
I spent $70 last week. And you know what I have in my refrigerator?
Nothing.
3 eggs. Oh, I made a real mistake last night. I ordered pizza.
Okay. None of this sounds like a mistake yet.
This is the second time in a row that I've misordered pizza in my neighborhood. I don't have great pizza options.
I think it might be the same thing that I did very early on in this apartment.
Which is what?
Did you accidentally order Sicilian?
No, I accidentally ordered a vodka pizza. But get this. Pasta on the pizza.
No.
So penne alla vodka on pizza. I was really hungry.
Okay,
I got it. I
that is
took it
not
upstairs.
your fault. That is the fault of this.
Who fucking makes
Pizza
you and I?
on top
We
of a
took a
pasta.
road trip across the country. We had our fair share of bad
Terrible
pizza
pizzas.
experiences
Yes,
outside of.
yes, which we've been so
the city.
traumatized by that we still talk about with
Yeah.
some frequency.
So, but I got the pizza upstairs. I opened it up, and it was penne pasta on top of pizza, and I just stood there defeated.
Well, did you eat it?
Yeah, I ate 2 slices because I was hungry. I
Mhm.
made spinach on the side because I needed some sort of vegetable, but I couldn't eat it like a pizza because it was pasta on a pizza.
Right. So you had to eat it with a fork.
Pasta off the pizza.
That's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's criminal.
And I don't think I can finish it.
Well, I'm curious to try and slice, even though it sounds really bad. There was actually, so I was never a fan of this slice, but there was like a famous pizza place. It was actually really the only pizza place in my college town. And they had a famous slice that was like tortellini on top of pizza. And I was like, why would anyone want that? That's so gross. They also had another one that made me feel really bad that I never tried, which was like a deconstructed taco pizza. But the thing that was like real, which sounds like, okay, maybe that could be okay. The thing that was disgusting about it was that there was shredded lettuce
Ooh.
on the pizza. Ugh, is that disgusting?
Yeah.
And I don't love lettuce as a baseline anyway.
Yeah, me neither. That is I don't know, a conspiracy, something. We've been brainwashed to think that lettuce on a sandwich is good. I'll take that back. But lettuce as a salad,
Unless it's a wedge salad.
unless it's a wedge
See,
salad.
there are
exceptions.
loopholes. There are
exceptions.
loopholes.
Yes, there are.
That's another really positive thing that you've brought into my life. Is
Wedge
vacuuming
salads.
and an appreciation of wedge salads, which makes you sound like a country club housewife.
Like for the 50s.
Like I said, it's among the many gifts you brought to my life.
Okay, and I'll have one other quick hole that I've
Hole.
two hole
Tell
that
me
I've-
about your quick hole.
that
I'm sorry. Get yourself together.
Oh, now I forgot it. You made me laugh.
You can subscribe to us anywhere you listen to podcasts and find us at vjandstevens.com. That's VIJAY and Stevens with a PH. We're working on some scripts and some fun new live projects. You can find us at VJ and Stevens on Instagram, and our assistant Susan now tweets at Memos from Susan.